Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got an excellent show for y'all. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So, I got a clip that was sent to me that I saw yesterday from my man Marcellus Wiley. And, you know, Marcellus Wiley used to work at ESPN, used to work at FS1, so he knows a lot of the people that are being talked about in media. He gets quoted a lot by websites like Awful Announcing and even the New York Post at times. So Marcellus Wiley is a well-known guy, well-connected into the sports industry, and he has a lot of background information that a lot of us don't have, and I think that's one of the reasons why so many people tune in to gain his insight on a lot of these issues. So, as you guys know, Shannon Sharpe has been fired, and it's just been one thing after the other. He got fired after that lawsuit, and then subsequently got hit with another $20 million lawsuit, which just now just seems like this thing is just spiraling out of control. So, I'm always eager to hear what Marcellus has to say about these things after they happen, because he always gives us some keen insight that I think a lot of us find useful. So I came across a video from his Instagram page, and make sure y'all go follow him on Instagram if you're not already. But I came across his video, and he was reacting to this story of Shannon Sharpe being fired. But then he brought up something pretty interesting, which was this. He started talking about how Shannon Sharpe could have been spared, could have been saved if people stood up for him and supported him. And he said one of the people that could have possibly saved him, he didn't say he should have saved him. He didn't say any of that. He said he could have saved him was Stephen A. Smith. He said if Stephen A. Smith gone out there to bat for him and tried to get him or tried to save him from his job, possibly ESPN could have opted to make a different decision. But he also stated that given the fact that all of this grotesque evidence and information was coming out, it put even him in a very difficult position to be able to do anything, even if he wanted to. But I think he gave a very, very interesting insight here. But before we even get into what he had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60+ states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I'm really looking forward to watching some of these NBA Summer League games. Here's what I like to do. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what I want to do now is I want to play exactly what Marcellus Wiley had to say. I want you guys to listen to it in its entirety, and I want to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to Marcellus here.
He was doomed when none of those people would stick their neck out for him. And we knew that based off of the only public figure that we know has executive power, really is Stephen A. Smith. By his choice words, by his response, by his conversation he had with his bosses, we knew that they had relayed to him, look, let's land this plane slowly, softly, but we're sure we're going to do it. And that was back then, right? You could just hear it. And this is not to put this on Stephen A. He's just the only public facing executive, right? Everybody else, y'all don't know their faces, even though you know some of those names. So nobody could stick their neck out there and do it. And you want to know why they couldn't? It's because of what has happened before, the past, and more importantly, the present, how dirty, how much of that laundry got aired in that moment, those initial 2-3 days. Without that, I will guarantee you somebody would have said, give him another chance. If this was just a lawsuit, man, she young. Damn. All right, Shannon, handle that. And he would have kept on moving and didn't have to try and slander because it was a seesaw effect. He was trying to smash and be like, y'all stupid. He was trying to put the hammer down like, I ain't do this. She tripping. See, look. But what happened was it boosted her. Because not only did she have her own receipts, but then he forgot the whole premise of why you even in that in the first place kicked in, and no one has sympathy for him. And people weren't really looking at it from that perspective. I don't think many people think he did anything wrong to the young lady. You know, they had a weird relationship. Let's just say that. Within the confines of being weird, I think they were all right. But at the same time, once we know how weird it is, oh, it gets weird. Never let us see how the sausage is made.
So you heard what Marcellus Wiley had to say there. What are my thoughts about this? Well, I remember when Shannon Sharpe initially stepped away from First Take. Stephen A. Smith did a show about it. And he said that, you know, he's rooting for Shannon. And he said he hopes that Shannon Sharpe returns back to ESPN, as he stated in that video when he was saying that he was leaving, where he said he hopes to be back by NFL season. He said that. I remember that. Now, I haven't heard him talk about this situation since. I'm sure he probably will at a later point. But to Marcellus's point, which is he could have saved him. Look, guys, what we do know, and we know this because Stephen A. Smith himself has said it, no one makes it on ESPN First Take without his approval. Nobody. So anybody you see on that show is there because he gave the green light. He also vouched for Shannon to go to ESPN after he had lost that job at FS1. So he vouched for him. And I said at the time, yeah, it's easy to vouch for him because he was the hottest thing, one of the hottest things, one of the hottest free agents, so to speak, in sports media. So he did vouch for him there. But in the case of him sticking out his neck for Shannon here, I think Stephen A. Smith probably looked at it from the standpoint like, bro, even if I wanted to, you didn't give me any chance, bro. And the situation just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And he's like, maybe even if I wanted to help you, I don't think I can, bro. I don't think I can, because this thing is spiraling out of control. And now leads me to something else, which a lot of people are pointing out, which is Shannon Sharpe has lost a lot of key positions at a lot of these companies. I think the first place was CBS or one of those places I remember where he worked, then FS1, then ESPN First Take. So at a certain point, you got to look inward. You got to look inward and say, well, I mean, bro, maybe there's something you need to do here. I mean, maybe you need to straighten up at a certain point, right? Because we have 3 occasions where things have gone down and you've lost your employment. But the thing that Marcellus Wiley is saying is that Stephen A. Smith nevertheless could have stepped out there, and that's true. You know, it's true. Sometimes, but at the end, it comes down to the individual, man. Some people are just going to do it. Some people are like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go out there and fight for you. Whatever happens, happens. Whereas some people like, yeah, bro, I tried to, but like, come on, man. Like you ought to know better than that. And maybe Stephen A. Smith was somewhere in the middle where he's just like, there's nothing more I can do, man. There's nothing more I can do. Like, this thing it would just becoming a little bit too disgusting for us, and there's nothing more I can do. But nevertheless, Marcellus brings up a good point. So the question is this: do you think if Stephen A. Smith really pushed, he could have gotten Shannon Sharpe? He could have saved Shannon Sharpe's job, or do you think that the thing was just going to spiral out of control, and there's no way that anybody could have saved Shannon Sharpe? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show, and I'm out. Peace.